Now, coming into this week's episode of Megalobox, episode 13, the last episode for Megalobox, I thought it would be near impossible for this episode to do anything that would make me think it was anything less than amazing. And coming out of this episode, I think it was a brilliant conclusion. And I took a look at how the manga for Tomorrow's Joe ends, just to see, like, what they did differently. I thought it was an interesting contrast to how the final match in that series goes compared to Megalobox. But I like how Megalobox ended. Like, they definitely were foreshadowing death the entire season, but death didn't happen in the traditional sense, but instead, the thing that people were born to die is more or less the fighting careers. It seems like the career of them fighting, Yuri and Joe, that's what died, not their actual lives. And I think that was actually a really interesting move to go for, because this fight was everything I wanted it to be. And I was a little worried. Like, when this fight started off and we were at already round 4, I was a little worried. I was like, are we really gonna skip past this? Did we need 2 episodes for this fight? Is this gonna feel rushed? But quickly the fight was going down in a way that I was like, okay, we don't need to see every single round, because they were perfectly balancing the pacing, showing the momentum build up throughout the fight. Both of them were at a pretty equal battleground, more or less, both not giving in, but then slowly but surely Joe was going kind of a little weaker, but Yuri was seemingly just hitting the punches, blocking the punches, not really losing a beat, whereas Joe, over those rounds, like, we would skip a couple of rounds, focus on a round, skip a round, focus on a round, and I like that because it didn't feel like it was fast-paced or we were rushing because of a time constraint. If they really needed 2 episodes, I'm sure this would have got 14 episodes, but I feel like this fight only actually needed 1 episode. We even had time to focus on the side characters, see what they're up to, see what the point of Yuri in the suit was. It was actually for an armor for the military, so we're getting these kind of like bows being tied up as we're watching such an amazing fight go down, and it was emotional. I really liked how the choreography was functioning. You really felt the punches, you really felt Joe exhausted throughout this match. You were seeing the sweat and the blood drip from his face, and I loved how Pops is just so different from where he started. You know, he turned a fraud into the real deal. Really, Joe's the one who turned himself into the real deal, but Pops really did give some great speeches there. Even though he can't see what's going on, he has his hearing, and he still gives Joe, like, he's not telling Joe, you know, you gotta stop, you're gonna die if you keep going. He's saying, like, what's your name? The name that you picked. And I love that. And I love how the final punch, it goes down, and you're just like, it was such a nice still frame. You're seeing, like, round 13, both their punches are about to connect, who's going to win, and then they stop. And then we fast forward like a year. We're seeing Pops has his gym opening up. We're seeing all the characters at a pretty good stage in their life. Sure, Yuri is seemingly crippled now because, you know, fighting in that condition after ripping his gear off, it was bound to have some severe consequences. And I was like, okay, I mean, that makes sense that he has that happening, but it really was directing it like, man, is Joe dead? Like, obviously I knew we were going to see the outcome. It wasn't going to be completely open-ended, but I thought they were going to leave who won the match open-ended. But I'm actually glad they did show us who won just before the episode ends. Joe had 7 wins, 0 losses. He was the champion, but obviously retired after that fight based on the comments made that there currently isn't a champion for the arena. I mean, obviously Yuri had to retire, he can't walk anymore, whereas I feel like Joe was someone who's like, he had the best dance of his life, he got to fight against the ultimate opponent, the ultimate friend, and there's nothing better than that for him. I really don't think there would be a fight that could live up to such an amazing fight, and I do like how Joe won. It's not like it was some asshole because he was the main character. Like, Joe wasn't equal to Yuri. Yuri had some insane skills, but all you need is that one good punch to land, and that can change the entire match. And obviously that punch, that still frame, is what won the match. And I like how it functioned because I think many people, not just people who haven't read the original source material like myself, but just everyone in general, like, was pointing like someone's gonna die because this entire series was built around the foreshadowing of someone dying. And I actually saw a lot of people think that Yuri was going to die because of the suit being ripped from his body and then fighting in such a weak condition. But I like how Yuri was crippled, Joe retired, and how the fight went down. I felt like it was 2 equals having the time of their life, and even though they're getting their face beat to a bloody pulp, that wasn't an issue. They were just having the ultimate dance, and I love seeing Joe near the end there just kind of dancing around. It was such a wholesome ending for a show that I didn't think was gonna have a wholesome ending, but I'm glad it did end like this. Like, you don't always need happy-go-lucky endings to have a satisfying ending. I was expecting a pretty bittersweet ending, but I'm glad with what we got. I feel like all the side characters were kind of tied up. You know where Joe's going, you know where the suit technology is going for the army, that it's not just going to be a weapon, it's supposed to enhance the individual person. I like where everything ended up. I like even seeing the mob boss, like, kind of watching the TV during the match saying, like, so you turned the fraud into a real deal. I like how just everything about this episode flowed. It's just such a memorable anime for me. It's something that's easily going in the favorites list. I really had to take some time and kind of figure out where I'd place it, but it's definitely one of my favorite anime that I've seen. It's such a good show with great characters, the choreography, the visuals, the soundtrack. That soundtrack is going to be downloaded as soon as I can. It's so good. This episode and just series overall made me happy. It made me had fun. The action was great. But it was just really the characters and their motivation that drove them that made it so engaging for me. And honestly, I can't wait to see when this gets released on Blu-ray because I want to buy it. I want to just watch this in crisp, clear Blu-ray as well because this is such a beautiful show. Let me know what you're feeling about the ending, the series overall, your favorite moment. Let me know down in that comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like. And if you're new, also be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.